Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where I give my review for Impact Wrestling's Against All Odds. We are on the road to Slammiversary, and this is just a little pit stop for Impact. And honestly, it was a dang good show. Maybe not as good as Under Siege, but it was still very, very good. So sit yourself down, maybe get yourself a snack or a drink, and let's do this. So, first matchup on the card, we got Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian in what was a very, very excellent back and forth match. Of course, Alicia Edwards interferes at times. Eventually, she does get thrown out by the ref from ringside. And then after a roll-up victory, your winner, Frankie Kazarian. I do feel like this feud is going to continue at least a little bit. Maybe we'll see some partners get involved. Christopher Daniels and Davey Richards. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Yeah, ultimately, fun little opening match. Not quite X Division style, but I think it's close enough to where it had that really good energy. We then get the Team Nick Aldis promo, where it's Nick Aldis, Heath, Jonathan Gresham, and Bully Ray talking about the 8-4-1 match, which, don't you worry, I'm going to get into that in a few. Where basically, they talk about how unusual this matchup is, how we have to work together to get to another level, and then Bully Ray pretty much chimes in, look, I'm sick of all this trust talk. During the tag match, you can trust me. However, once that four-way gets underway, you're on your own, which, nice little heel stuff by Bully Ray. And like I said, we're going to get into that one. Next up, we got the Impact Tag Team titles on the line as the Good Hands, that's John Skyler and Jason Hollick, take on the ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay. And honestly, the Good Hands brought it tonight. Like, this was a fantastic bout from both of them. Counters galore. Brian Myers tries to get involved, but he ultimately gets taken out by Ace Austin. Then we get in, of course, the ABC Art of Finesse into the fold for the 1-2 sweep. So your winners, still Impact Tag Team Champions, the ABC. I'm wondering who else the Impact is going to bring in for the tag division, because low-key, the Impact Tag Division is kind of stacked right now. Like, you got the ABC, you got the Machine Guns, Good Hands are on the up and up, Kenny King and his guy. Like, the tag team division it's feeling a little fresh right now. So, hopefully we get to see some more teams come in to Impact. Next up, we got a Trinity Deonna Purrazzo interview. They're talking about their upcoming tag team match tonight, and then how they're going to be 100% for each other for Slammiversary, which I am super looking forward to that match. Low-key, Naomi is so underrated. I mean, Trinity. You know who I mean at this point. So, yeah, that match is gonna absolutely rule. Next up, we got a dog collar match. First time in a little bit since I've seen a dog collar match. Last one was in AEW. It was Brody Lee, rest in peace, versus Cody Rhodes. I don't think there's been one since. I think they've been saying on commentary this is the first one in Impact, which, that's kind of surprising. I could have sworn Dusty Rhodes had one, like, really early on in TNA. And the participants, Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. And yeah, these two wanted to absolutely kill each other. You could feel the animosity coming through the screen. And at one point, Killer Kelly tried to hang Masha Slamovich from the top rope with the chain, which, I don't like that spot myself, but, whatever. At one point, Killer Kelly hits the snowplow on Slamovich for the 2. And then, then Masha Slamovich hits her own snowplow for the victory. I do hope eventually Masha Slamovich gets another shot at the Knockouts title. Or, hell, you know what I say? Team these two up. Have them take on the Coven. That would be absolutely interesting. Like, I'd love that. Solid match. Like I said, it felt like both these two wanted to kill each other. We then get a nice short and sweet Motor City Machine Guns interview, pretty much hyping each other up, saying, yeah, we're going to win these matches and walk out with singles gold. Speaking of, we get to the X Division title match as Trey Miguel takes on Chris Sabin for the title. And, at first, Trey goes for it. Pretty legit. Lots of, this is X Division at its best. A little new school guy versus an old school guy. And, they kept up with each other. They had some really good chemistry. At one point, Trey goes under the ring, produces 2 spray paint cans, puts one in his pocket, and then brings the other one in the ring. Looks like the ref takes the one he has in his hand, throws it out of the ring, then Trey sprays Chris Sabin with it, roll up, 1, 2, kick out. Then Sabin rolls out of the ring to, I want to say it was either the announce table or the timekeeper's area, got a bottle of water, washed his eyes out, ran right into a Meteora, which I thought that was going to be the end. Sabin goes for a couple of cradle shocks that got kicked out. And Sabin whips out the Styles Clash, which I always loved the Styles Clash. Big ups to my man AJ Styles. Then after one more cradle shock, your winner, new X Division champion, Chris Sabin. So we got one half of the Guns getting one singles title gold on the evening. We'll see if Shelly can pick it up in the main event. Next up is the 8-4-1 match, where it starts out as an 8-man tag. The winning team then moves on, and it's a fatal 4-way. The person who wins that gets the number 1 contendership to the Impact World title at Slammiversary. So, this match is pretty stacked with talent. One side, in the 8-man tag, one team, you got Nick Aldis, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, the former Heath Slater, and Bully Ray, taking on Rich Swann, Moose, Speedball Mike Bailey, fresh off of his awesome run in the Best of the Super Juniors in New Japan, and PCO, Perfect Creation 1. And to say it started out really hot, to start it off, we had Bully Ray in against Speedball. Bully Ray tags out to Gresham, pretty much saying, yeah, I want no part of him. And then Gresham and Mike Bailey do what they always do, have a banger match. You definitely had tags in and out, including some forced tags by Moose on Rich Swann, which he did the other night. And then Rich Swann tries for a cutter. That gets blocked. A spear to Swann. And yeah, you're ultimately your winners. Team Nick Aldis, Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath Slater, and Nick Aldis. So that immediately leads into the Fatal 4-Way, where you have Nick Aldis, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Bully Ray against one another, and immediately the babyfaces team up against Bully Ray. Bully Ray does get some of his stuff in, but it's not enough. Then the babyfaces turn on each other. Definitely a bunch of roll-ups, which that's awesome. Bully Ray then brings in a chair for great effect. And after a chop block into the Kingsland Cloverleaf, your winner. And moving on to Slammiversary, Nick Aldis. Then we get a brief Steve Maclin interview. Interviewer pretty much asked, "Oh, are you going to change your strategy now that Nick Aldis is in your crosshairs for Slammiversary?" Maclin says, "No, the mission stays the same. The opponent changes. For right now, for tonight, I'm sticking to the plan against Alex Shelley." So that match should be a fun one. Speaking of a fun match, we got the tag team match playa, as it's Trinity, the former Naomi, and Deonna Purrazzo taking on Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans. And I will say, Trinity is just so smooth in the ring. I'm surprised she hasn't picked up any ring rust after that long of a time not wrestling. But, yeah, all four of these women took it worked really well together. Although there was some with Savannah Evans that left a little bit to desire, but I think she rebounded well. And then after a roll-up to Vidal tries to attack Trinity, that backfires. And then after a roll-up victory, your winners, Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity. Post-match, Shaw and Evans try to attack Purrazzo. Trinity makes the save. Purrazzo and Trinity then have a little stare down, and they shake hands. So, that match at Slammiversary is going to be great. Wondering if Trinity is going to dethrone Purrazzo. I guess we'll see. Next up, in pretty much the craziest match of the evening, is the Ohio Street Fight, which means everyone in the ring, or wherever, and weapons are encouraged. So you got the design, that's Diener, Khan, and Angels, taking on the returning OVE. That's Sami Callihan, Jake Crist, who returned at Under Siege, and now you got the monster, Madman Fulton, back in his glory. Everyone wearing OVE shirts, and it's just on, brawl. They're all over the arena. They use trash cans. Sami Callihan brings out the thumbtacks, which I fucking hate thumbtacks. Like, just thinking about getting those stuck in my feet makes my skin crawl. But now they're falling back first into it. Ugh. At one point, Khan and Fulton are up on the stage. They kind of take each other out, falling off the stage through a table that was just perfectly set up. At one point, Angels is going for a top rope move onto Callihan. Jake Crist is up top, hits a cutter mid-air, which I don't know how to explain how cool that was, but that was really cool. I think it's that's on the level of the RKO out of nowhere. If you know, you know. But honestly, that was really cool. Deaner kicks out of the Cactus Driver by Callahan. Callahan then produces his baseball bat. Shot right to Deaner. Then another Cactus Driver 97 into a board covered in barbed wire, which, yikes. And ultimately, your winners, OVE. And I'm going to say this, as much as I'm happy OVE won, I think it's time to, like I'm going to say, redesign the design. Like, I think it's time for Deaner to maybe blow up on his 2 new awards and maybe replace them with someone. I'm not sure who, but someone could probably get a kick out of this. And now, our main event for Against All Odds. You have Steve Macklin defending his Impact World Heavyweight title against Alex Shelley. Now, we do see a little vignette from Shelley saying how he fell short on dethroning Josh Alexander, but then he doesn't take that as a loss. He takes that as a learning experience. Then he goes over, those he had under his tutelage, Okada, the Young Bucks, so many people Alex Shelley helped train, which is absolutely insane. The talent he helped out. But now he's ready to do it for himself. So now we get this match started. Alex Shelley goes immediately for the Motor City stretch, but that gets countered. Lot of really good wrestling in this match. And then a lot of good back and forth. At one point, we have Shelley putting Macklin into a figure 4, which I do like that. And yeah, like the entire time, Alex Shelley going after the knee or going after the arm, picking and choosing what body part to attack. One point, Shelley goes for the shell shock. That gets blocked. At one point, I believe it was Macklin who exposed the steel turnbuckle under the turnbuckle pad. Macklin goes for the crosshairs, which is like a tree of woe move. Shelley moves. Macklin head first right into it. And then super kick into a shell shock. Your winner and new Impact World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Shelley. And honestly, I never really thought Alex Shelley would have gotten to this level, but I am super happy he does. I think he's one of the many people who actually deserve a decent world title run. But now he kind of has to look over his shoulder a little bit, not only for Nick Aldis, but you also have his now partner, Chris Sabin, with the X Division title, which means he could implement Option C, which is handing over the X Division title for a World Heavyweight title shot, which I think could potentially happen, although I don't really want them to break up the Guns. They're one of my favorite tag teams maybe ever, and that's saying a lot. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'm super excited to see what happens next on Impact. I hope you are too. And yeah, that's my review for this episode. This week I'm going for a schedule change. Now that AEW has added Collision, it's going to be hard to review that on Saturday, considering I usually have my reviews up for Saturday. So, here's what I'm going to do. Obviously, Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Power, if they're having new content. I think it's still covering the Crockett Cup, which it's fine. Wednesday Dynamite, Then Thursday, out of the 3 that are there, I'll cover Impact and MLW Fusion on Friday. And then Sunday, I'll cover Ring of Honor, SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision. And then probably NWA USA, which is... I mean, it's a lot of content, and then I'll break it down on Sunday. So, yeah, you got that to look forward to. Then I got my predictions for Money in the Bank. You have Forbidden Door coming. And it is a lot, but I'm super hyped for a lot of it. I hope you are too. I hope you stick around for all of that. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what you thought of Against All Odds this weekend. Let me hear what you're thinking about Collision coming up. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.